If I'm being honest with you, I want to take a moment, and I want to take a real moment to cut the. Normally, I'm the guy that's defending WWE, but last night proved that, as valid as some of my opinions may be on waiting for a payoff in a company for a year, there are legit options where we no longer have to wait. You no longer have to beat down a talent and a superstar to the point where the fans lose all hope to finally care, to be invested. Last night, for the first time in at least 5 years, even though I enjoy Money in the Bank, I enjoy WWE, whether you like Brock Lesnar or hate Brock Lesnar, the fact that Brock Lesnar is Mr. Money in the Bank, the guy that didn't need the briefcase but has it and is going to create an intriguing storyline whether or not he uses it, and has Kofi and Seth reeling. No, none of that matters, because last night a wrestling show occurred that I didn't think I would get to watch. This has been a 6-month build, and it was a $50 pay-per-view, and last night I didn't have $50. But you know what I had is I had a good friend. Somebody that last night it really hit me how great of a friend they were when they shared the pay-per-view with me. And I was able to experience All Elite Wrestling, and I was able to experience a wrestling show last night, whether rightly or wrongly taking shots at another company, it doesn't matter. Because last night it wasn't taking shots at WWE, it was about putting on a show that the fans in the attendance cared for, that they loved, that they genuinely felt passionate about. And that's what happened last night at All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing. There wasn't a moment during that show that I went, why am I watching this? There wasn't a moment of feeling like I had to be there. There wasn't a moment of feeling like I'm just phoning it in. I genuinely wanted to be there, and when it was over, I was genuinely disappointed. Now, we are fresh right now. They don't have a weekly TV show. We don't know if they'll be able to sustain that creativity, that passion, that feeling. But even if All Elite Wrestling went down tomorrow and there was never a company, what happened last night showed that there is hope for professional wrestling, for us fans that have been so worried about dwindling TV ratings and everything that we shouldn't even think about when just enjoying a product. We got to see superstars who the majority of fans, although the hardcore fans in attendance probably know who Orange Cassidy is, you got to see somebody that is not nationally exposed, was not really on being the elite very much, and they knew the gimmick and they sold the gimmick. The fans genuinely had a passion for it. And I've been the one to say before, like, hey, listen, even if you don't like WWE, the writers, the story, just go and cheer for the performers. But after getting beat down by WWE so long, it's hard to tell fans or audience that. But then you see a show like All Elite Wrestling where Orange Cassidy does his gimmick against Tommy Dreamer and the audience is popping. They're getting into it. They're loving it. There's not this feeling of, God, this sucks or is stupid. It's, wow. Now, there were some hiccups. There were some things wrong last night, but I don't want to focus on any of that. I don't want to focus on the fact that I didn't have to have Kevin Dunn's shaky camera, although I get why Kevin Dunn does the shaky camera. I get why WWE does it, but at the same time, not to have it for an option was great. Last night, seeing that camera stay steady, wow. All Elite Wrestling, I think, shocked a lot of people last night, and if you didn't see it, I'm sorry. Whether you chose not to buy it, whether you're physically not able to buy it, whether you have to sit back and wait, I will be the first one to tell you growing up, I have to consider myself a fake wrestling fan because I used to watch the weekly shows, but I never bought the pay-per-views. 6 months or a year later, I would eventually possibly go to Premiere Video and rent the discs, or, before the discs, the VHSs. Last night was my first non-WWE pay-per-view in God knows how long. Before the WWE Network, I was actually buying WWE pay-per-views, and every month I was only doing it because of YouTube. And last night, if I had had the money, I would have bought it. Unfortunately, I didn't, and now I'm kind of regretting the fact that I didn't have $50 to give them because the show they put on was well worth it. You saw guys like MJF and Adam Page. The creative differences that everybody was burying with Pac. You got to see the legit build for Hangman Adam Page because I wanted Hangman Page versus Pac for the title anyway. So now Hangman Page earned it. He went through the shit. The same way WWE may rib a superstar, not give a superstar an opportunity because some of these backstage things, Adam Page worked through it on the show and he overcame everything, and he's going to be challenging Chris Jericho for the AEW title. A beautiful title. Bret Hart came out and presented the title last night. So many things happened on that show that really made you feel like, wow. there's a company that gets it, and I think one of those moments that really proved it was a guy like Cody Rhodes in the interviews afterwards talking about how, timing out a show was near impossible years ago, with Gerald Briscoe being the only one that could do it, and Tony Khan running his first show, timed it out perfectly, and the show went great. Cody Rhodes breaking the symbolism of Triple H's pedestal and chair was fantastic. And whether you're one of the people that think AEW shouldn't take shots and they should focus on the future, or that maybe they went too far with the stuff they've done, it doesn't matter. Because it is pro wrestling, and pro wrestling will always use the things we find taboo against us or for us to make us pop or to make us boo. That's the reality. We're going to have shots trading back and forth, because when you're a billion-dollar business and you're competing for people's attention, you got to do what you got to do. That's why Eric Bischoff leaked the results. But the thing that I felt last night was anybody could win. There was that sports field that we keep talking so much about with sports and analytics, with Angelico and Jack Evans versus the Best Friends. I legitimately thought that match could have went any way possible. And then there was a tweet from Greg Hamilton where he said, still the best tag team in the world are the Usos, period. And fans jumped on that. I jumped on that. But at the same time, Greg Hamilton bought the pay-per-view and paid to watch it. And he made a statement about the Usos, and I agree. The Usos may very well be the best tag team in the world, but we only get to see them be the best tag team 2 or 3 times a year in WWE. So we can't lambaste Greg Hamilton for his views, because the Lucha Brothers, Jack Evans, Angelico, Best Friends, there are so many great tag teams in the world. Within the world of WWE, the Usos are the top dog. I truly hope one day, in a true sports environment, we get AEW versus GTS. We've joked before, and one of my most viewed videos of all time was AEW predecessor, not the AEW predecessor, but WWE versus Impact Wrestling in WWE 2K. Because fans want competition. They crave competition. And the thing about competition is, last night when it finally came out, there was something for everybody. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not a big Joshi fan. Watching the last 6 months CM Pulse become infatuated with Joshi wrestling and wrestling overseas, I haven't understood it. I haven't got it. You shut it down. You close your mind. You close your opinions. You shut down. This isn't what wrestling should be, because you're so conditioned to like one style. And then one of my favorite matches of the night was Joshi. And now I'm asking, and I'm going to Pulse like, you got any more of that Joshi? Yo, what's good? But here's the thing. This is where we, the fans, can create the revolution. Not the companies, not WWE, not Cody Rhodes, not AEW, not Tony Khan telling you what to do. If you are a wrestling fan, spread the love, because here's what's happened in the last 5 or 10 years with WWE. Do you want to know why WWE ratings are going down? Last night, Tony Pizza Guy encouraged me to watch and went out of his way to make sure, even if he had to use credits from his fight account to make sure I could see it, he wanted to support the company. He went out of his way to make sure I could see it. WWE, we don't do that anymore. Rightly or wrongly, good writing, bad writing, it doesn't matter. We don't have that same passion for WWE because we're so burnt out. Go out of your way to show somebody AEW. Go out of your way to show somebody professional wrestling. Good, bad, PWG, Indie, UK, Japan. Spread the love of professional wrestling. That's what I hope this company keeps doing. Whether they win the war, whether they get bought out, whether they sell, whether the show runs for a year and gets canceled, I don't care. Last night, a show was presented in the form of art. A show was presented over the course of 4 to 5 hours, and I don't once remember going, oh my God, this is going on long. I don't remember sitting there going, why am I watching this? I sat there the entire night going, anything can happen. And it did. Matches that I didn't know who was going to win, and things changed. Awesome Kong coming out. The very end, which we're going to talk about later separately, with Jon Moxley. Yeah, I was one of the people that had said, just like Grimm's Toy Show ate the big L on this, hey, it'd be hilarious if this was a work for WWE, sending Moxley out. But sometimes we get too caught up in the things we're thinking about. Our ideas, our stories, we shut everything down. My favorite thing about last night, and that's what I want to end on, is the fans' openness last night to accept gimmicks, people, and superstars and athletes and talent that they had never seen before, or maybe they didn't even know who they were. Super Smash Bros. I still don't know a lot about. I want to learn. It doesn't mean we have to bury Super Smash Bros. Who are they? What is their deal? Why were there 10 masked men in the ring? What do they do? I want to learn more about it. Joshi, if you've never seen anything about Joshi, I'm now wondering, what's good with Joshi? Triple I. Well, first of all, I thought it was called Triple A. I didn't realize the pronunciation. That's a big trust and a step with AEW and Triple A to keep the titles on the Young Bucks. That's huge. The professional wrestling revolution is here, but it is not solely on AEW or WWE. It's on us as fans, as people, and it's as us as not as sports wrestling, or I'm sorry, like WWE tweeted out, sports entertainment enthusiast. WWE, do not call me a sports entertainment enthusiast. You are a sports entertainment company, and I like WWE. Whether good or bad, I will always be a fan of WWE. But I am not a sports wrestling enthusiast, a sports entertainment enthusiast. I am a professional wrestling fan. And I will watch the best professional wrestling, whether it's your company, another company. It's time I truly understood what it meant to be a wrestling fan. Not somebody that tweets about it, not somebody that talks about it, not somebody that constantly runs his opinions on it. Somebody that watches, consumes, and understands. So I'm going to be watching Joshi. I'm going to try to reach out to some friends that watch other promotions. I'm going to try to understand better the revolving door that is pro wrestling, and I want to know your guys' thoughts. If you watched AEW last night, maybe there was a different style you were opened up to that you never thought you would watch. Maybe you want to learn more about Joshi. Maybe you want to learn more about tag team wrestling or watch more tag team wrestling because you never really cared about tag team wrestling because WWE beat it into you so bad it didn't matter. I want to know what you guys truly thought of last night. And for those fans in attendance last night, the 20,000, the sellout. Come on. That was great. I want to hear from you guys, legitimately. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? And at the end of the day, I can't wait for more. Cody versus his brother was fantastic. Last night was my first non-WWE pay-per-view in ever. And I can honestly say it was one of the best nights of my life as a pro wrestling fan. Thank you to AEW. Thank you to Tony Pizza Guy. And if you have a friend that cannot buy it, share them, invite them over, have a watch party, do whatever you have to do. And let's keep this going. It's not going to be a revolution without us. So until next time, I'm Tubby Emu. I hope you enjoyed All Elite Wrestling. And unfortunately, if you didn't get to watch it, I'm sorry. I hope you can see it. I hope you can enjoy it. And if you didn't like it, guess what? You got tons of other options. But until next time, I'm Tubby Emu. We just got a little bit too real. And we will see you all later.